Thank you for joining us on the Monday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Benga Oreshegun. Today on the program, Governor Fubara to implement Supreme Court ruling and conduct fresh local government elections in Rivers State says he is not afraid as ultimate victory is certain. Mudashiru Obasa makes spectacular return as Lagos Assembly Speaker. And later on the show, NLC rejects fresh electricity tariff increase, threatens nationwide protest. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Utitoju and Gani Kaidi Balogun GKB. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. Calm appears to be in the horizon for Rivers State, South Nigeria, after a long-drawn battle over the State House of Assembly and local government election crisis. Following judgments delivered by the Supreme Court on the crisis, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has assured people of the state that he would implement the verdicts without any reservation. In this regard, Governor Fubara has ordered the heads of local government administration in the state to immediately take over the administration of the 23 local government councils pending the conduct of fresh elections by the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. The governor also said
although we disagree with the judgment, we are bound to obey the order made therein as a law-abiding government. Given the outlawing of caretaker arrangements in the local government system, I hereby direct head of local government administration to immediately take over the administration of the 23 local government council, pending the conduct of a fresh election by the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. I further direct that the outgoing local government chairman to formally hand over to the head of local government administration by Monday, the 3rd of March 2025.
Now, BKO, Governor Fubara has come out to say that he respects the decision of the Supreme Court, and so we expect compliance from him. But talk to me, what's your reaction to the state broadcast by Governor Fubara and the call for fresh local council, local government elections?
If you watch issues with Jide on Saturday, I advised the governor to address the citizens of the state. And I'm happy that that's what he has done. He may not have watched me, but I felt it was the right thing to do so that you can ensure that there is calm, there is stability in the state. Because at the end of the day, if things go wrong, you are the one who will take the blame. This is the time for the governor of Rivers State to be switched on. This is the time to not listen to conflict entrepreneurs. People who have left their states, they've relocated to Rivers State because they are profiting from the crisis and the unfortunate situation there. These are the people who tell the governor, no, don't do this, don't agree. No, you can confront them. Nothing will happen. Nobody can be bigger than the state.
Sure.
Governor Fubara can never be bigger than the Nigerian states. And the laws of our country, as stated by the Constitution, are enforceable. The judgments of our courts are enforceable, which means that the armed forces have the obligation to ensure compliance with our laws. We are not in a state of nature, in the Obesian state of nature. We are a people governed by laws. And we have our courts. We have the final court in our land. Once the final court has spoken, you may not agree with the decision, but you are obligated to abide by it. I'm happy that he said they disagree. Well, whether you disagree or not, you must obey, you must comply with the judgment. It's just like the judgment of God.
Okay.
You may not agree with it, but what can you do? You cannot cause the judgment to be changed. I read Pandev asking the Supreme Court to review the judgment. Okay, since people have been pushing to review judgments of the Supreme Court, how many times have they succeeded?
Is it even possible for the Supreme Court to review its own judgment?
I'll ask a valid question. How many times have they succeeded? When you keep saying they should review themselves, and they are not going to review themselves. Some governors who lost their positions, Andy Uba went back to the Supreme Court, telling the Supreme Court to review his own decision. They didn't listen to him. We saw...
The lawyer was charged for...
no, that was much later.
Okay.
We saw Yari, the former governor of Zamfara, do the same thing. After the APC, due to their carelessness, lost all elections that they won by a huge landslide or huge landslides to the PDP. PDP...
Because of internal crisis?
Yes, PDP benefited from the crisis, and they took all those elective positions. Then, as if that was not all, we saw what happened in Bayelsa when two big lawyers in our country, Olanipekun and Afebayola, also urged the Supreme Court to review a decision that it had taken, which ensured that David Leon lost his mandate as governor of Bayelsa State because his deputy was accused of using forged documents. So, at the end of the day, all those things amount to nothing. The governor has a choice to listen to the people who are pushing him to the edge of a cliff. They're pushing him. And he said something. He said that even if he's removed, that's not the end of this world. That does not mean that he has lost his life. I do not even want to see the governor impeached. It makes no sense. You can still run the state without being on the same side with the other people. Just comply with the law. You cannot run the house with 3 individuals. And then you created a place in the government house for them to be sitting, 3 individuals. And the people that have been challenging, because I say the truth, they say I'm biased over Rivers matter. I've been challenging them to mention one part of the world where the aberration that has happened in Rivers has happened. I'm still waiting for anybody to tell me, okay, there is a parallel here. Why is it that it's only in our country that things get inverted? Things that you cannot imagine, you see it happen in our country, and people will treat it as if there is nothing wrong. You see lawyers telling us that, oh, they've automatically lost their seats.
And they come on
where is the precedence? They go to TV stations. Where is the precedence? I've been telling them to show us. You do not automatically lose your seat. It's the court that will take it from you. You do not automatically lose your life even if you take a life. You must be put through a trial. This is the point that we are making. This is the point that we are making. But where people cannot win themselves of their biases, they come up and tell us all kinds of things. The governor has said he will implement. He has no choice. He has no choice. Because, look, I'm happy. Have you seen anybody rioting in Port Harcourt now?
No.
Our colleagues who are necessarily worried, there will be violence in this. Are people losing their lives because of a judgment?
No. Because
they know that, look, life goes on. And it makes no sense for any individual to waste his life because of a politician. Nigerian politician. of all people, Nigerian politician, you go and put your life at risk because of a Nigerian politician, something must be wrong with you.
Because
Nigerian politicians,
people can sort out themselves.
How many times do they stand for the people?
Exactly.
Yeah? No, this is the time to speak the truth. How many times does the Nigerian politician stand for the people that you will now go and be risking your life? The people that you are risking your life about, when you see them hugging one another,
Okay.
you now say, oh, look at them, they are hugging one another. Meanwhile, you are killing your other people. Because of them, you are killing your colleagues, people, fellow members of the Lazarus stratum of society. You are killing them because of wayward politicians. Something must be wrong with you.
All right, GKB, let me have your thoughts on this matter. The state broadcast by the governor.
I commend the governor. I think he started on the wrong foot. Now he's correcting himself. The human ego, of course, is the most destructive of all our senses, because it drives our ability not to think straight. And to me, that is what he has done now. He has buried his ego and decided to follow the law. Ultimately, he and the members of the House will have to work together, one way or the other. As you say, in this part of the country, all of them will still be indigenous of Rivers. They are all elected to drive Rivers State forward, and they must be allowed to do their jobs. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the first step. Although outside the broadcast, he also said that he's telling the youth of Rivers to still hold on, that the trigger will come when it will come. I hope I'm not reading what I'm reading to them.
Let him try.
He said they will get instructions.
I sincerely hope that what he's saying is not what I think he's saying, because he has started on the red.
You know, sometimes when politicians are speaking, they get carried away. Yeah. He was making a very good speech that you expect from somebody who had just lost in court. He has to give himself courage. He has to give courage to his fan base. He was doing that. You see now, suddenly he started saying that, okay, you hear instruction. Instruction to do what? To commit violence? Try it now. Instruct people to commit violence.
I want to say we took him out of context. You know?
We've asked the question.
Exactly.
So instruction to do what?
To do what? That's the question.
It needs to qualify that you hear what are you trying to tell them to do? If you try it.
Now, Biki, you remember in the state broadcast, the governor directed the head of local government administration to take over the local but the State House of Assembly, they've rejected this move. What's the implication of this?
No, what they are saying is that the Supreme Court has said that you can, that only elected local government, chairmen, councillors can run the local government. But I also believe that, given the situation that they find themselves now, I don't think the governor has a choice. There has to be a kind of interregnum. The Supreme Court was right to sack the local government chairman because of non-compliance with the Electoral Act 2010.
Okay.
In a number of ways, the Rivers State SEC, Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission didn't comply. For example, there should be 90 days notice that an election is coming.
Okay, that's according to the Act. He didn't do that.
Yes, there has to be a review of the voters register. And people will go check their names, you know.
Every step of the way.
So if you fail to comply with the Electoral Act, you have already set yourself up in a way that suggests that you've wasted your time. And that's why I said on Journalist Hangout that if all of those local government elections held by governors in our country were to be litigated upon, and getting all the way to the Supreme Court,
they'll be thrown out.
They would all be cancelled.
All be cancelled.
Because they did. Some of them, they just wrote down names and say, oh yeah, go and announce names. No results, no result sheet, nothing. They cannot tell us word by word.
This is what this person's got, the numbers.
The results, you know, they don't even have it. If you dare them, they won't be able to provide it.
And they will be sworn in immediately.
Now, still talking about the governor, okay, the State House of Assembly also gave the governor 48 hours.
Yes.
To present. But did you see him complying with this in 48 hours?
Well, there are two levels here that we are looking at. We are looking at the House of Assembly trying to assert its own independence of the governor. The number two, of course, is that the governor is still giving himself a room till Friday. Don't forget. He's still waiting for the
certified true copy
of the judgment. And he's still hoping, I may be on the wrong track here, that the High Court, handling the case of defection, will come on before all this can be done. But the House, in their wisdom, have decided that what they need to do is assert themselves quickly and fast. And that's what they're asking for.
There is nothing like waiting
for anybody.
For the CTC.
Any court to give judgment on the matter. The Supreme Court has said that Martin Amewule
is the speaker.
And that issue, the House should go and be conducting its business. And that nobody should interfere with them.
Okay, yes.
Nobody should interfere with their work. It's very clear. The Supreme Court also said that by withdrawing that case, the case that they brought to the Supreme Court and withdrew, it means that they agreed with everything that Martin Amewule and his people accused them of. That's what Justice Emmanuel Agim said. There were people who were in the court who were also listening. So he said that means they agreed with everything that those people accused them of doing by withdrawing. You know, they withdrew it as a way of buying time. But that's not how the Apex Court sees it. And the Apex Court, sensing that this anomaly of having 3 individuals led by a bearded man run the affairs of the state will continue. He then took that decision that nobody should interfere with him. It agreed with the judgment of Justice Omotosho.
Omotosho, okay.
You know? Which validated the assembly members. And the Supreme Court said something, that you cannot run the House, you cannot deal with the House that is made up of 12.5 members, 12.5% of the entire yes. Which is to say, no, matters like appropriation and other things
must go through the process.
Must go before a properly constituted House. And a properly constituted House is the House led by Martin Amewule, not 3 individuals. It's very clear. They cannot. There's no lawyer what is sort who will say that he does not understand what the Supreme Court meant. You may not like the judgment. Of course,
but you have to comply.
But you can't deny that you don't know what they are talking about. Because it's English language.
It's ambiguous.
The language is clear. Okay. Either the things that Justice Omotosho, Justice Tukur said, or Justice Emmanuel Agim, who read the lead judgment. It was clear.
All right.
You cannot run the
All right, we have a caller from Umaya. Felix from Umaya, thank you so much for joining us on Journalist Hangout.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening to you. Let's talk.
This is Felix. I'm calling from Umaya.
Let's talk.
Hello?
Let's talk. Let's talk.
Okay. What my take here is that Governor Fubara will implement the Supreme Court ruling. He has taken a right step in the right direction. At least for the piece of River State, I love what he did. That's my own take. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. So, what I was, the point I was trying to make, the properly constituted House is
the one led by Martin Amewule
faction. And the Supreme Court has said, go and deal with them. All of what you are hearing that, there is a case
in the Federal High Court.
The Supreme Court did not even talk about that matter. The Supreme Court said no one So if the Supreme Court said go and work with Mefule, that is the authentic speaker, are you saying that the Supreme Court didn't know what it was doing? If Martin's position is still in contention, why would the Supreme Court say go and deal with him, go and work with him?
So the case coming up April in the Federal High Court.
No, you have to understand that the governor and his people are grasping at straws. It's normal. It's political brinksmanship. They know what the law says. They know what the judgment means. But they must also throw a feeder to their base.
They need to make themselves happy. If they said nobody should interfere with their work, they should go ahead. They empower them to
go ahead and do their job.
So what are we talking about? And they didn't say go and do the work for a certain length of time. Go and do your work. And nobody should interfere.
Nobody should interfere.
So that is the thing. In fact, the Supreme Court said that there has been no governance in Rivers State because in their wisdom, governance is not embodied by the executive alone. So if we interfere with the work of an arm of government, which is an arm of government, the legislature in this case, then there is no governance. That is the way they have interpreted it.
Okay.
You are not Louis
XVI.
Everybody, exactly.
You are not Louis XVI. Who looked at himself and said, let's start somewhere, I am the state. No. There's no Nigerian governor who can call himself the state. And power is transient. All this gara-gara that we are seeing today, I look at people.
8 years, tops.
In a short while, they will be yesterday's men. It was Olunloyo who came into a gathering and said, Olunloyo, the mathematician.
I know.
Dr. Victor. He said, X this, X that. X this, X that.
I'm looking at
X this, X that.
Okay.
You know? So because in no time, the people in power today are showing extreme arrogance. You need to hear how the Supreme Court described the Rivers governor. They saw him as a totalitarian, an undisciplined person, unworthy of the position that he occupies. Interpretatively, and even literally speaking, that was the way they described him.
All right, gentlemen, as we round off on this conversation, looking at it from the beginning, this battle between these two parties, do you think it should have been handled differently from the beginning?
Yeah.
Ab initio.
Yeah. I don't like giving examples from other zones.
Yes.
But Yorubas will say that there must be elders in rivers.
The elders.
There must be elders. That's what African societies.
Elders who have taken sides.
Yeah, there must be elders who will be able to intervene without taking sides.
So in other words, you blame the elders.
I'm blaming the system that allows the people like the governor to unilaterally bring down the House of Assembly.
Okay.
On that one pretext. And nothing happened. And that now encourages him, emboldens him to now move forward and start running a one-man show.
You know, he was marching towards their houses, so their quarters.
All right,
the leaders came and said, no, don't go there.
All right, gentlemen, we need to take a break now, okay? And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Still journalist hangout.